Enough. You have been played with long enough. Those are not ordinary words. They are a divine decree echoing across heaven and directed straight into your spirit. If your eyes are reading this right now, it is not by accident. Heaven has opened a direct channel to your soul. God is pulling you out of the fog that has surrounded your life, the invisible web of manipulation, delay, and exhaustion that has drained your strength for far too long. Deep down, you have felt it. The strange setbacks, the constant cycles, the sudden betrayals. Doors that were about to open suddenly slammed shut. People who promised loyalty vanished when you needed them most. You tried everything, yet something unseen kept pulling you backward. God is saying, enough. The hidden hand that has been playing with your destiny is being exposed. What you thought were coincidences were in fact orchestrated attacks meant to confuse and exhaust you. But today, heaven has declared intervention. This is not just a video, not just a message, it is a divine rescue operation. God is tearing away the veil. His light is cutting through the darkness that has been choking your purpose. As Ephesians 5:14 says, "Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." This is that moment. The light is breaking through. God is calling you to wake up from spiritual sleep, from the endless busyness, distractions, and illusions that the enemy built to keep you trapped in cycles of weariness. You have been moving, working, trying, but without real peace. You have been surrounded by noise, yet your heart has felt empty. That is not because you failed, it is because your spirit has been under siege. There is a spiritual war around your life, and heaven is sounding the alarm. Every unexplained delay, every draining relationship, every door that never opened, none of it was random. These were tactical moves designed to make you doubt your worth and abandon your calling. But now, the tables are turning. Heaven is stepping in. The alarm has been sounded in the spirit, and the forces that have mocked and manipulated you are being dismantled. You will begin to feel it, a stirring deep within, a sense that something unseen is shifting. That is not anxiety, it is awakening. It is your spirit responding to the voice of God, saying, "Wake up, my chosen one. The hand that deceived you will be cut off, the fog will lift, the path will be revealed." As C.S. Lewis observed in the Screwtape Letters, "The safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signposts." This wisdom reveals that the subtle manipulations you've endured were designed to lead you astray gradually, but God's divine intervention marks a clear milestone, pulling you back to your destined path. You are not here by mistake. You are not broken beyond repair. You are standing on sacred ground, the threshold between deception and destiny. This moment marks a spiritual turning point. Look around your life. In your work, in your health, in your relationships, what drains your energy, what pulls you off balance, what clouds your peace. Those are not coincidences, they are clues. There has been manipulation in the unseen realm. But today heaven declares, the strings have been cut. So don't scroll away. Don't tune this out. Breathe deeply and know you are being summoned. This is the moment your soul begins to remember who you are. The chains you could not see are breaking. The lies that wrapped around your destiny are unraveling. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the warrior heaven is awakening. And from this moment forward, deception loses its grip. The light has begun to shine, and darkness trembles because when God calls your name, every force that once toyed with your life must bow. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to blend in or live a life of quiet survival. You are chosen, set apart by God for a purpose far greater than your understanding. And because of that, the enemy marked you early. He saw the light that rested upon you long before you could see it yourself. Every strange hardship, every unexplainable rejection, every moment where you felt different from everyone around you, it was never random. It was resistance. You have been walking with a target on your back, not because you are cursed, but because you carry a calling. Chosen one, you carry something sacred. The weight you feel is not weakness, it is an assignment. The constant pressure you've lived under is the mark of someone who was never meant to live an ordinary life. You have a mantle on your life, and that mantle attracts both heaven's favor and hell's opposition. Just as David was anointed to be king while still a shepherd, and yet spent years fleeing from Saul's jealousy, your life has followed the same paradox. Chosen but chaste, anointed yet attacked, favored yet fought. God's hand on you is what made you a target. Think about it. The times when people turned on you without reason, the moments when you were misunderstood, the seasons when everything you touched seemed to fall apart, these weren't signs of failure. They were proof of spiritual warfare. The enemy fights what he fears, and he fears you because the potential inside you threatens the plans of darkness. The devil doesn't waste his energy on those who pose no threat. The storms in your life are not punishment, they are evidence that your purpose is real. In 1 Peter 4:12, the word says, "Do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you. You have been walking through fire because gold is refined by flame. You've been tested not to be broken, but to be proven. God has been shaping you quietly in the background, while the enemy tried to make you think you were forgotten. But you were never forgotten. You were being prepared. Your setbacks were never about destruction, they were about development. Every time you were delayed, every time you were forced to start over, God was stretching your endurance, building your spiritual muscles for a higher calling. Some people don't understand why you don't fit in, why you move differently, why your spirit feels too deep for shallow conversations. It's because your design is divine. You were built for warfare, not comfort. You were born to discern, not to follow. You may have wondered, why me? Why is my path so heavy while others seem to move easily? The truth is, God trusts you with pressure. He only places the heaviest callings on those who can carry them. He sees what you cannot yet see, that every blow you've survived has been forming a weapon inside you. What tried to crush you is now the testimony that will crush the enemy's plans. Even in your workplace, even in relationships, the pattern repeats itself: spiritual friction. That colleague who subtly undermines you, that friend who drains you, that invisible heaviness when you enter certain places, it's not imagination, it's warfare. But the good news is this: no weapon formed against you shall prosper. God has surrounded you with divine protection, even in the moments you felt alone. You are chosen, and that means your life is not meant to make sense to everyone. You are the exception to natural laws because you walk under supernatural governance. Heaven has invested too much in you for you to stay hidden or broken. That's why the shaking has been so violent, because heaven is repositioning you. Chosen one, lift your head. What has been attacking you has only been confirming you. You were called before the foundation of the world. The enemy has fought your peace because your voice carries authority. The very pain you've endured will become the platform for your purpose. You are not weak. You are being weaponized by grace. So stop asking why you're under fire. Instead, start recognizing the fire as proof that you are chosen. And remember, just as David's years in exile prepared him for the throne, your hidden battles are preparing you for your breakthrough. What the enemy used to wound you, God is now turning into wisdom. The weight you feel is not a curse, it's your crown waiting to be revealed. Chosen one, the pressure you feel is not a punishment, it is prophecy. It is heaven's confirmation that something inside you is expanding, that the next chapter of your destiny is being born. Every great purpose comes with a season of crushing. Just as oil is pressed out of the olive and gold is refined by the furnace, so must you go through this fire to reveal the brilliance God placed within you. What feels like breaking is actually becoming. You've been asking God, why does it hurt so much? Why does everything feel heavy? But the truth is, what you're carrying is not ordinary weight, it's glory in disguise. 2 Corinthians 4:17 says, For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. That's what's happening right now. The pain, the fatigue, the sleepless nights, they are not wasted. They are the pressure points of transformation. Think about the seed buried underground. It lies in darkness, unseen and compressed by soil. From the outside, it looks dead. But in that hidden space, life is forming. The pressure of the earth isn't killing it, it's forcing it to grow strong enough to break through. You are that seed. The darkness you feel is the soil of your destiny, and the pressure around you is preparing you for your emergence. Many around you don't understand this. They may think you're struggling because you did something wrong. But in truth, you're being refined, not rejected. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. The delay, the tension, the inner stretching, all of it is heaven's way of saying, you are almost there. The enemy turns up the heat right before the breakthrough because he senses what's coming. The same fire that consumes straw only purifies gold. When you feel like you can't carry it anymore, breathe. You are closer than you think. The pressure that is squeezing you right now is heaven's labor pain. Something divine is about to be delivered through you. It may be a new assignment, a new position, or a new season of favor, but make no mistake, it is coming. God is not wasting your suffering. He's converting it into strength. Look back for a moment. Every time you thought you were at the end, somehow you made it through. That was not luck, that was grace. That same grace is working again, even now, quietly reinforcing your spirit. When you feel the weight, remember this. It's not meant to crush you, it's meant to crown you. The greater the glory, the greater the pressure required to hold it. Even in practical life, in your work, your health, your relationships, the same principle applies. Pressure builds capacity. Just as muscles only grow when they are stretched and strained, your spirit grows through resistance. What frustrates you today is forming the endurance you'll need tomorrow. You cannot carry royal authority with an untested heart. God allows pressure because He's enlarging you for the promise. And when the pain feels unbearable, whisper to your soul, "This is proof I'm close." The enemy wouldn't fight this hard if nothing significant were about to happen. Hold your ground, chosen one. Don't curse the fire. Command the fire to refine you. Because when the refining ends, what will emerge is unstoppable. The heaviness that sits on your chest today is nothing compared to the glory that's about to rest upon your life. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. And soon, when you rise, those who saw your struggle will witness your shine. The pressure was never meant to destroy you. It was heaven's way of preparing you for the weight of glory that's coming. Chosen one, not everyone who smiles at you is for you. Some hands that reach out to help are laced with hidden intent. Some hearts that appear kind are quietly calculating how to slow your rise. You have entered a season where discernment is not optional, it is survival. The enemy no longer comes with horns and fire. He comes disguised as comfort, approval, and opportunity. He wears friendship as a mask. That's why you must guard your spirit with the vigilance of a watchman on the wall. You have likely already felt this tension, the uneasy feeling around certain people who appear warm on the surface but leave your spirit unsettled. It is not paranoia. It is perception. God is sharpening your discernment. He is teaching you to listen to energy more than words, to sense truth beneath the surface of smiles. In Matthew 10:16, Jesus warned, "Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves." This is your mandate now. Wisdom without fear, gentleness without naivety. There are those who celebrate your victories in public but compete with you in secret. Others will cloak manipulation under the language of advice, steering you away from what God told you to do. Some will attach themselves to your light just to siphon it, pretending to pour into you while quietly draining your confidence. These are not just toxic relationships. They are spiritual assignments sent to divert your focus. The enemy knows he cannot destroy a chosen one through open warfare, so he uses subtlety, counterfeit connections, flattering words, small compromises. He whispers through people who seem trustworthy. He introduces distractions disguised as blessings. Remember Eve in the garden. The serpent didn't attack her with a weapon but with a conversation. The same tactic is at play today. Even in practical life, your workplace, friendships, or business, this principle holds true. Not every offer is divine. Not every open door is from heaven. Some doors are traps dressed as opportunities. Before you accept new partnerships, invitations, or alliances, pause and pray. Let peace, not excitement, be your confirmation. Guard your atmosphere. Protect your peace. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to pray, not those who tempt you to drift. God is teaching you to value purity over popularity, purpose over people-pleasing. He is calling you to travel light in this season because the wrong companion can delay your destiny. So, chosen one, don't feel guilty for creating distance. Spiritual boundaries are not arrogance, they are armor. When you sense that someone's spirit doesn't align with yours, believe what your discernment tells you. Walk in love, but don't walk in blindness. God will expose the motives that words cannot hide, and as He does, you will see that separation was not rejection, it was protection. Chosen one, what you allow into your spirit determines how clearly you hear God. In this season, you must become fiercely selective about what you consume, not just the food on your plate, but the words you listen to, the content you absorb, the energy you sit under, and the company you keep. Everything you take in becomes either fuel or poison for your soul. The enemy knows this, which is why he doesn't always attack you through fear or temptation sometimes. He attacks you through influence. In nature, your body reflects what you eat. Spiritually, your soul does the same. You cannot feed on fear all day through news, gossip, or negativity and expect to walk in peace. You cannot indulge in distraction and still expect revelation. God is calling you to cleanse your spiritual diet. The same way Daniel refused to eat the king's food because it was defiled, Daniel 1-8. You must now reject the delicacies. The world offers the flattery, the comparison, the shallow pleasures that dull your discernment. What you watch, read, or listen to carries a spirit behind it. Words are seeds. They either plant truth or deception. Music, conversations, and even social media trends can carry spiritual residue that clouds your vision. You've probably felt it before after certain interactions or media binges. Your peace disappears, your focus scatters, and your confidence fades. That's not a coincidence. It's contamination. In practical life, this may mean limiting conversations that drain you, setting boundaries with people who constantly complain, or stepping away from environments that glorify chaos. It may mean taking a break from digital noise to let your mind detox. Replace toxic intake with truth, prayer, worship, stillness, and words that feed your faith. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This transformation happens daily through what you choose to take in. You don't need every invitation, every message, or every opinion to enter your space. Protect your gates, your eyes, your ears, and your heart. When you keep them clean, your discernment grows sharper, your decisions become wiser, and your peace becomes unshakable. Chosen one, you are what you consume. Feed on truth, and you'll radiate light. Feed on lies, and you'll sink into confusion. God is inviting you into a higher diet, one that sustains revelation and multiplies strength. In this next season, your spiritual clarity will be your most valuable weapon. Guard it like treasure, and let your appetite shift from entertainment to enlightenment, from distraction to divine nourishment. Chosen one of the most dangerous weapons the enemy uses against those marked by God, is not criticism, it's praise. The same way poison can be hidden in sweet honey, deception can be hidden in flattery. Not every compliment is meant to encourage you. Some are designed to inflate your ego and quietly pull your focus away from your calling. Pride is the oldest and most silent killer of purpose, and it often enters through doors that look like admiration. You've probably noticed it before. The moment you start making progress, voices appear to celebrate you. Yet something inside you feels uneasy. The applause feels good, but it subtly shifts your gaze from the one who called you to the image others have built of you. That's where danger begins. When you start needing the approval of people to feel secure, the enemy no longer needs to attack you directly. He can control you through validation. The world is filled with voices that want to tell you who you are. Colleagues, friends, followers, even family. Some will lift you too high, others will tear you down. Neither matters if your identity is rooted in God alone. But the moment you start believing that your worth rises or falls with public opinion, you lose the quiet authority that comes from humility. Pride doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it hides behind confidence, behind success, even behind ministry. It whispers, "You've earned this," when God is saying, "I gave this." In your career, in your relationships, even in service to others, remember that influence is not ownership. The platform you stand on is not proof of superiority, it is a temporary assignment, and with it comes accountability. The higher you rise, the more the enemy will tempt you to forget the source of your elevation. He'll feed your ego just enough to make you careless, then wait for you to stumble. That's why you must stay grounded. Gratitude is your shield. Humility is your safeguard. Let people's compliments roll off you like rain on stone, heard but not absorbed. Appreciate affirmation, but never crave it. The moment your heart begins to depend on praise, you've already handed over control. Chosen one, stay small in your own eyes, even as God enlarges your territory. When others speak well of you, redirect the glory. When success comes, bow lower, not higher. Remember, the goal is not to be admired, it is to be aligned. And alignment with heaven requires a posture that no applause can shake. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the louder the noise becomes. Confusion is the enemy's final weapon. When he realizes he can no longer destroy you, he will try to distract you. He will flood your mind with options, opinions, and doubts, hoping you'll lose direction just inches from your destiny. This is why the final stretch of every divine journey feels the most chaotic, not because you're off course, but because you're almost there. You may have noticed it. People suddenly changing, plans falling apart, unexpected delays, opportunities colliding all at once. It feels like standing in the eye of a storm where everything spins out of control. Yet in truth, this is the final test of focus. The confusion is not punishment, it's a battlefield. The enemy cannot stop what God has ordained, but he can try to make you hesitate long enough to miss the timing. This is the moment when your discernment must be sharper than your emotions. Don't let the noise dictate your next move. The enemy thrives in urgency. He wants you to act out of panic, not peace. When every door seems to open at once, don't rush through any of them. Wait for the one that carries peace in your spirit. Peace, not excitement, is your confirmation. In life, confusion often comes right before clarity. Think of it like dawn breaking after the darkest hour. The sky doesn't turn bright in an instant, it flickers between night and day. That flicker is where you are now. You may not see the full light yet, but it's coming. Don't mistake uncertainty for abandonment. God hasn't gone silent, he's testing if you can still hear his whisper in the storm. In this season, even good things can become traps. Not every opportunity is divine. Not every voice that sounds spiritual is aligned with truth. Some things are meant to distract, not to develop. That's why you must learn to pause. The pause is powerful, it breaks manipulation. When you slow down, you give heaven space to speak. Remember how the enemy tempted Eve not with fear but with suggestion. Did God really say? The same tactic repeats today. He'll twist logic, create gray areas, and make you second-guess what God already confirmed. Don't negotiate with confusion. Stand still until peace returns. Your destiny depends on your ability to remain steady when the ground shakes. The chaos you feel is not the end, it's contraction. Heaven is pushing something new through you. Hold your focus. Guard your decisions. Clarity is on the horizon, and when it comes, everything that once felt tangled will suddenly make sense. You will see that confusion was only the shadow that appears before light breaks through. Chosen one, the silence around you is not rejection, it is refinement. You've been wondering why so many people drifted away, why certain doors closed, and why the noise of life has faded into stillness. It's not because you did something wrong. It's because God is separating you to strengthen you. Every chosen vessel goes through a season of isolation, where noise is stripped away and only truth remains. What feels like loneliness is actually the classroom of divine preparation. In isolation, heaven does its deepest work. When God wants to elevate you, He first pulls you away from everything that defines you, the familiar voices, the predictable routines, the constant affirmation of others. He takes you into a place where you have no choice but to hear His voice alone. That's how He refines prophets, leaders and warriors in silence, in solitude, away from applause. You may not realize it now, but this season is sacred. It's where strength is built in secret. It's where vision sharpens, faith deepens, and your dependence shifts from people to purpose. Think of it as a spiritual cocoon, uncomfortable, dark and still, but necessary. The butterfly cannot emerge without the isolation of the cocoon. Likewise, you cannot carry divine glory without going through the crushing silence that precedes transformation. During this time, don't rush to fill the quiet. The temptation will be to distract yourself with work, with people, with endless activity. But distractions delay development. Isolation is not meant to punish you, it's meant to define you. When the world goes silent, your soul finally speaks. That's when you start recognizing your own voice again, the one the world tried to drown out. Even in the practical parts of life, isolation plays a role. You may notice fewer messages, fewer invitations, even fewer opportunities. Don't panic. It's pruning, not punishment. The gardener cuts branches not to destroy the tree, but to make it bear more fruit. What's being taken from you now is only making room for what's coming next. Many won't understand this stage. They'll say you've changed, become distant, or lost your spark. But don't explain yourself. Those who aren't meant to walk with you into the next season won't understand the silence required to prepare you for it. God hides His most valuable treasures in obscurity until they're ready for exposure. Chosen one, your isolation is not the end of connection. It's the beginning of consecration. Heaven has placed you in this stillness to tune your spirit to divine frequency. When the season shifts, and it will shift, you'll emerge with power, clarity, and unshakable authority. What others see as solitude, heaven calls strategy. So, embrace the quiet. You are not alone in the wilderness. You are being rebuilt in it. When the enemy realizes he can't break you, he will try to keep you busy. He will fill your mind with noise, your days with unnecessary battles, and your heart with things that look important but steal your focus. Destruction is loud and obvious, but distraction is subtle and deadly. It doesn't come to ruin you overnight, it comes to drain you over time. You've probably noticed this pattern. Just when your spirit starts to rise, something or someone shows up to pull you off course. A small argument, a sudden crisis, an unexpected invitation that feels harmless but consumes your energy. These are not coincidences. The enemy studies your rhythm. He knows exactly what to place in front of you to make you lose momentum. And the truth is, he doesn't need to stop you if he can simply distract you long enough to delay your purpose. The greatest warfare in your life right now is not between good and evil, it's between focus and distraction. The enemy doesn't always attack your faith. Sometimes he attacks your attention. He wants you to fight battles that don't matter, chase approval that doesn't last, and invest time into things that don't feed your calling. He knows that a distracted warrior is just as powerless as a defeated one. Distraction can take many forms. It can come through people who constantly pull you into their drama. It can hide in endless scrolling, mindless entertainment, or even overcommitment to things that seem good but aren't God-led. It's possible to be busy doing what looks right and still miss what's truly divine. Not every good thing is a God thing. In your career, relationships, and daily life, notice how distractions often arrive right before a breakthrough. Suddenly, you feel tired, overwhelmed, and pulled in multiple directions. That's not random, that's resistance. When your spirit starts elevating, the enemy sends clutter to your path, hoping to weigh you down. But this is where your spiritual maturity must rise. You cannot afford to chase every voice, respond to every challenge, or attend every battle. Learn to walk away without explanation. The secret to advancement is alignment. If it doesn't align with peace, purpose, and progress, it's not for you. Protect your focus as you would protect your breath, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. Chosen one, discipline is your weapon now. Silence the noise. Decline the invitations that lead nowhere. Not everything demands your attention, and not everyone deserves your response. Remember, the enemy fears the day you become fully focused, because that's the day you become unstoppable. So, in this season, move with precision. Choose peace over reaction, solitude over chaos, prayer over panic. The devil cannot defeat a believer who refuses to be distracted. You don't need to fight harder, you need to focus deeper. And when you do, every distraction will fall away, and your destiny will accelerate like never before. Chosen one, the very things that were designed to break you are now becoming the foundation that will build you. What the enemy meant for evil, heaven is already rewriting for your good. Every betrayal, every closed door, every sleepless night, none of it was wasted. God has been quietly turning your pain into power and your wounds into wisdom. You didn't lose. You were redirected. You've walked through storms that others would not have survived. And though you came out with scars, those scars have become the marks of authority. They are proof that you've been through the fire and came out refined, not ruined. What tried to destroy you only confirmed how indestructible you truly are. Every time you were pushed down, heaven wrote another chapter in your story of endurance. Divine reversals don't happen overnight. They unfold in layers. First, you lose what you thought you needed. Then, you are left standing in confusion, wondering if God forgot you. But underneath that silence, something sacred begins to shift. Pieces that didn't make sense start to align. People who left are replaced by divine connections. Opportunities that vanished return in unexpected forms. What once looked like rejection now reveals itself as redirection. Look closely, chosen one. The very pit the enemy dug for you is about to become his own trap. The setup is turning into your step-up. The doors that slammed shut will be the same doors you later walk through, but this time you'll enter not as a seeker, but as a steward. You'll return stronger, wiser, and untouchable by the same forces that once mocked you. Even in the natural world, this law holds true. A seed must first be buried before it can rise. Pressure creates diamonds, and storms push roots deeper into the ground. Likewise, your losses have only deepened your strength. You are no longer who you were before the storm. You are sharper, more discerning, and spiritually unshakable. Every false accusation, every disappointment, every delay, heaven has kept a record. The scales are being balanced in your favor. The same people who once questioned your worth will soon witness your restoration. The very environment that suffocated you will one day announce your rise. This is not optimism, it's justice. Chosen one, the shift has already begun. The tables are turning. The story is reversing. What felt like the end was only an edit. Heaven is rewriting the script, and this time, the narrative ends with victory. Stand still and watch what was once your valley of tears will become your valley of triumph. The pain that was meant to silence you will become the testimony that sets others free. You don't need revenge. You carry redemption. What was taken will be restored, not in the same form, but in multiplied measure. The darkness that once mocked you will one day say your name with trembling. Because when God reverses a situation, He doesn't just restore what was lost. He upgrades what was broken. Chosen one. Before every great unveiling, there is a holy silence. It is the moment when heaven holds its breath, and nothing around you seems to move. Doors that once swung open feel sealed. Prayers that once brought immediate answers now echo back unanswered. You look around and wonder, has God forgotten me? But the truth is, silence is not absence. It is alignment. This is the sacred pause before divine elevation. Every chosen one experiences this season. Even the strongest warriors must walk through quiet valleys where no one sees, no one applauds, and no one understands. It's the space between prophecy and fulfillment, the gap where faith must learn to stand alone. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Heaven is gathering the pieces of your destiny, placing them precisely where they belong, even when your eyes can't yet see it. Think of the archer who pulls back the arrow. The tension feels like regression, but it's actually preparation for release. The farther the arrow is pulled back, the greater its force when released. That's what's happening to you right now. The silence you're feeling is the divine tension before acceleration. The setback is a setup. The stillness is a signal that something is about to launch. In this quiet season, God is refining your motives. He's testing whether your heart still obeys without an audience, whether your faith stands when no one claps, whether your worship is pure when blessings are delayed. He's removing distractions, reordering priorities, and molding your spirit into one that can handle both blessing and responsibility. Because where you're going, you can't afford emotional instability, you need spiritual maturity. In practical terms, this may mean opportunities slowing down, people withdrawing, or things that once worked suddenly losing momentum. Don't panic. Heaven hides you when it wants to protect you. The silence isn't punishment, it's protection. If God let your name echo too soon, you'd attract attention before you were ready for the weight of purpose. This silence is His shelter, not His absence. You might not feel it, but heaven is busy behind the scenes. Doors are being aligned. Hearts are being moved. Conversations about your future are happening in rooms you haven't entered yet. You are being positioned in silence for a stage you haven't seen. The enemy thinks you've stopped, but really, you're loading. So don't curse the quiet. Rest in it. Let the silence recalibrate your soul. Speak less, pray more. Move slowly, listen deeply. The next time heaven speaks, it won't be to comfort you, it will be to commission you. And when that moment comes, you won't have to force anything. Things will start aligning so perfectly, it will terrify your enemies and confirm to you that every second of silence was divine strategy. Chosen one, your rise will not be noisy, it will be inevitable. You are not forgotten, you are fortified. The silence before your rise is proof that heaven is constructing a platform that cannot collapse. Be still, for when the silence breaks, your name will carry weight, not because of volume, but because of heaven's validation. The silence is ending, the hidden season is coming to a close, and the world is about to see what heaven has been building in secret. This is not fame, it's fulfillment. This is not about spotlight, it's about stewardship. Heaven is restoring what was lost and elevating what was hidden. You are about to step into the moment for which every test, every tear, and every lonely night has been preparing you. When God restores, He doesn't simply give back what was taken, He multiplies it. In the same way Job received double after his trial, you are about to experience the weight of divine compensation. But this restoration is not just material, it's positional. You're being reintroduced, not as the wounded one who barely survived, but as the refined one who carries heavenly authority. What once broke you now bows before you. What once mocked you now makes room for you. You may have thought the silence meant you were forgotten, but while you were waiting, heaven was writing your reintroduction. The same people who overlooked you will watch in awe as favor begins to move in your life with unstoppable force. You won't need to prove anything, the fruit will speak for itself. Every area of your life that felt barren, career, relationships, health, finances, will begin to bloom again, not because of effort, but because grace has found you. In this season, divine recognition will not come through striving, but through alignment. The right people will start finding you. Conversations you once chased will now pursue you. Doors that stayed locked for years will open by command, not by chance. But remember, recognition is not the goal, it's a result. Restoration is never about status, it's about assignment. God is not elevating you to be admired, He's elevating you to be effective. You are entering a stage where everything that once hurt you will become the very thing that helps you. The rejection you faced trained you to recognize authenticity. The losses you endured taught you to value loyalty. The pain that isolated you sharpened your discernment. Heaven's restoration doesn't erase your scars, it anoints them. You will carry them not as reminders of pain, but as evidence of power. Even in your daily life, you'll begin to sense this shift. The meetings that once drained you will now flow easily. The connections that once failed will be replaced by divine alignments that feel effortless. The confusion that once clouded your decisions will fade, replaced by supernatural clarity. You'll walk into rooms that used to intimidate you and feel peace instead of pressure. That's not confidence, that's confirmation. But with restoration comes responsibility. Don't forget what the wilderness taught you. Stay grounded, stay grateful. You are not being restored to impress the world, you are being positioned to influence it. The spotlight is only safe for those who remember where the light came from. Chosen one, heaven is placing the crown back on your head, not as a decoration, but as a mandate. You are being restored to rule in the territory you once wept over. Every delay was divine timing. Every wound was a preparation. Every no was heaven's protection for this very now. Stand tall, for recognition is near, not because the world finally sees you, but because heaven has decided it's time. When God places the mantle on your life, the weight of it is not only glory, it is responsibility. Authority is not given to exalt you, it's entrusted to sustain others. You've been trained in hidden seasons, so that when power arrives, pride won't destroy you. This is the season where you must walk with confidence, but remain anchored in humility, where you carry heaven's weight without letting it crush your humanity. You are now stepping into a level of spiritual influence, where your words carry impact, your presence shifts atmospheres, and your obedience opens doors, not only for you but for others. But here lies the test. Will you remember that the power you carry is borrowed, not owned? Every miracle, every opportunity, every answered prayer flows through you, not from you. The moment you start thinking the glory belongs to you, the oil begins to leak. Authority in the kingdom doesn't roar, it resonates. True authority is quiet, stable, and deeply rooted. It doesn't need to prove, persuade, or perform, it simply is. You don't need to announce who you are. Those who walk in darkness will recognize the light without introduction. The atmosphere shifts not because you demand it, but because heaven recognizes its own reflection within you. In practical life, this means you'll begin to notice the weight of your presence. People will listen differently when you speak. Some will seek your guidance, others will challenge it. You'll have to discern when to respond and when to remain silent. Every battle doesn't deserve your sword, some only require your stillness. True kings know that silence can command more respect than noise. The mantle you carry will also attract warfare. The greater the light, the darker the opposition. The enemy will attempt to provoke you into using your authority out of anger or pride, just to make you misuse the very gift meant for others' healing. Remember, power without purity becomes manipulation. Guard your motives like treasure. Before every decision, pause and ask, is this coming from love or ego? That question will protect your anointing more than anything else. This is also the time to walk with a strategy. Authority without order leads to chaos. You can no longer live reactively, you must live intentionally. What you say, where you go, and who you associate with all of it now carries spiritual consequence. One careless word can wound someone's faith. One impulsive move can open a door you'll have to spend months closing. Walk wisely, chosen one. You are no longer representing yourself. You are representing heaven's agenda. But don't be afraid of this weight. You were built for it. Every night you cried, every battle you endured, every lonely prayer you whispered was part of the molding. You've already proven your endurance. Now it's time to prove your discipline. Walk in authority, but never forget compassion. Lead with conviction, but always stay teachable. Chosen one. Before this message ends, pause. Breathe. The journey you've just walked through, from confusion to clarity, from silence to restoration, is not just a story, it's a spiritual transaction. Heaven has been speaking directly into your life, through every word, preparing you to step into the fullness of what was promised. Now it is time to seal it. Let this prayer not just be words you hear, but a declaration you become. Wherever you are, quiet your mind, close your eyes if you can, and let your spirit receive. Father, in this sacred moment, I lift my heart to you. Thank you for pulling me out of confusion, for breaking every invisible chain that has tried to play with my destiny. Thank you for exposing deception, for revealing truth, and for calling me by name when I was lost in the noise. I know now that I was never forgotten. I was being refined for glory. Lord, I surrender every wound, every disappointment, every unanswered question. Take the pieces that were broken and breathe your life into them. I give you my fear, my fatigue, and my failure. In exchange, I receive strength, wisdom, and divine focus. Let every attack that once drained me become fuel for the fire you've ignited within me. I speak over my life. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No confusion will dictate my steps. No voice of doubt will silence my faith. I declare that everything meant to harm me will serve my elevation. The same hands that tried to pull me down will witness me rise, not by pride, but by purpose. Teach me to walk in humility, even when honor arrives. Teach me to protect the oil of my anointing with discipline and grace. Let my authority never become arrogance. Let my influence never overshadow intimacy with you. Make me a vessel that carries light into dark places, pure, steady, and unshakable. God, I thank you for the divine reversal that is unfolding even now. Restore what was lost, redeem what was delayed, rebuild what was destroyed. Let every door that was closed open at the appointed time. Let every tongue that rose in judgment fall silent before your justice. May the glory that returns to my life carry your fingerprints alone. And Father, when the next storm comes, because it will remind me that pressure is proof of purpose, remind me that silence is not punishment, that isolation is training, that waiting is warfare, and that delay is divine design. Anchor my heart so deeply in your truth that no distraction, no flattery, and no fear can move me again. I seal this moment with faith. I cover my mind, my body, and my future under the blood of Jesus. I declare that this is the hour of awakening, and I am stepping into it fully clear, focused, anointed, and unstoppable. Heaven's agenda is my mission. God's timing is my confidence. His Spirit is my guide, and so it is. Amen.